Ndio amefinya on zai. Ai. Oi, okay. Obinna tuko live, okay. Agneta nimekucheki. Rama niaje, karibuni. My hair cut is dope. Asante sana Gladys Njeri. Msema amenipatia cut anaitwa Ruzi Feeds. Ruzi Feeds in the building. Inafanya mambo yake. Yeah, we've just had a very interesting interview. Where? Your interview? Hey. Wanaenda kukipatapata. They are going to get it. Tan tan tiran taran. Tan tan tiran taran. Oh. What just happened? Zippy, asante sana for the compliments. What's up? Anaitwa Daisy. I'm the way you're busy. What's up? What's going on? Okay, tumefika. Suzi ni aje watu wa Faith Kamau, karibu sana. Alice Ndungu, karibu sana. Watu wa Saudi, nimekucheki hata mimi. I love you too. Susan Mungari. I don't know lipa pesa ngapi Facebook, a lot of money. You've just seen the conversation we've had with that couple. They're making good money. Jamaa alijinunulia gari yake from Facebook, amenunua gari ya demu yake from Facebook. Wewe Facebook yako unatumia kutukana watu. Lakini people are very different. Watu wanatengeneza pesa Facebook, TikTok. Wewe Facebook yako na TikTok yako unatumia kutukana watu. Mambo ni live. All right, Kate Mwende, Jocelyn Kinyi, Kolo 254, Emma nimekucheki, Lilian Jalemba, Marilyn, niaje, Mohammed, Naste Yusuf, okay, nimekucheki, Collins Ochieng, niaje, Street Ambassadors in the building. Okay, nimekucheki. Diana Wall, what's up? Happy Clara, niaje. John Kioko, what's up? Are you doing? Sheila Kipetu, what's popping? Mary Jokasi, niaje. Ann Chege, unadu namna gani? Ruth Juma, pia nimekucheki pale. Karibu sana Queen Esther, niaje. Florence Ochanda, Boiling Point, pia amedonjo, ni amedunda. Shish 001 is in the building. Karibu sana. And Lavenda Oko pia koaje huku kuko sawa. It's just raining, but so far so good. All right, let's begin the show. Tuende kazi the video. All right, what's up, everybody? Your guy, Top is in the building. Happy New Week. It's Monday. It's time for Obinna Show Live. It's time to educate you and get to entertain you. Especially this particular one is an educative episode that you really need. If you want to know how to put your money right, this is going to be the one. In this platform, we inspire and we get to motivate. Positive vibes only. I'm talking about positive vibrations upon the world. Definitely coming live to you from Samaki on Otaro. This joint and their seafood, amazing. Pizza is in the building. Nyama choma has also been introduced. How about you take time off your very unbusy schedule, upitie hapa uweze kujaribu a little bit of our good delicacies. Alrighty. And most definitely, mnaona suti pale. Yeah, that is HLM. Yeah, this one is from HLM. They have amazing suits. Their suits are imported. So if you're looking to have a beautiful occasion and you want to look expensive, you want to look exquisite, you want to look the part, HLM are your people. They're in Shujaa Mall, ground floor, just opposite Ad Life Plaza. Now, this particular episode, I'm sitting down with a gentleman that I've seen some of the things that he's been doing, and also I've really searched for him. Not for me. It's like for you guys. Okay, for us, for all of us, because the information that he has. Ushona wale watu wenye ni walking library. Now, this is that gentleman. That is the reason why we decided to have a sit down with him. He goes by the name of Waithaka Gatumia.
Hey.
Iko sawa?
Now,
yes.
Why are you putting so much pressure at the beginning of the show?
That's pressure.
When you tell people you are working library, they expect a working library. You at least start with the questions, then they might discover.
Or they'll discover it's a library.
But if you say at the beginning, the expectations are like at this level.
Okay. Guys, he's not a working library.
Thank you. I know one or two things.
Oh.
Yes,
libraries also do.
Yeah.
One or two books in the shelf.
Yeah.
You call it a home library. It depends with the size. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
We were to have you a while ago. Mambo ikakuwa kwa busy. Wamboi akakuwa busy.
Yeah. It's what happens in life sometimes.
Okay.
It's what happens in life. But see, I'm here.
Ta-da.
The time has come. Yes.
When it is right, the Lord made it happen.
Consumer Choice Awards.
Yes.
We
won it over the weekend.
Most professional and preferred.
Professional
kusoma. And preferred. That's what I'm talking about. Most preferred and professional online male media presenter of the year in Kenya.
That's what's up. Won it over the weekend. But
people don't understand the work that you do. Like when I came, I took some time just to look at the team, to look at this place, if people came, they would understand why you've won such an award.
Yeah.
It's not something that just happens like this.
No, it doesn't.
It takes time, it takes experience. Yes. And so I'm just here to celebrate you. Asante. I say well done.
Asante.
And it's a privilege. It's truly an honor to be here.
Thank you. It's also an honor to have you here. Yeah. It's a privilege to have a conversation with you. Yeah. Because we also love what you do.
Thank God.
And Centonomy is big.
By the grace of God, let me tell you.
The first time I saw Centonomy, I thought like it's a body part.
Well, you're not too far.
Yeah.
Because you think about actually the word Centonomy, our founder Waithaka Gatumia, she tried to define this area of money and independence. So she took the word cent and the word autonomy. So money and autonomy and put it together, which now that's where you get Centonomy from. It's actually speaking about financial freedom. That's what it is. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's new. Yes. You just Centonomy. We have studied Centonomy. Centonomy is the study of body parts.
No, that's anatomy. That's a different one. But you are not too far.
Nice. Yeah. So let's get right into it. Good. Centonomy, sense and autonomy.
Yes.
So it's financial freedom.
That's right.
Do you believe someone can ever achieve financial freedom? Why do I say this? We have people that we assume they have financial freedom.
Yeah.
They still work.
Yeah.
They get up in the morning, I'm like, yo, G. Meaning you pesa Ruto ako nayo. Unaona presidency?
Yes. You'd have gone home.
Unaona pesa Uhuru ako nayo?
Yes.
Unaona presidency?
Yes.
Unaona pesa Raila ako nayo?
Yes.
Maandamano?
Yes. Nothing.
Like, I look at these guys, I'm just like, yo, pesa Oscar Sudi ako nayo. Okay, hata basi kama ni mbaya basi nipeni pesa ya Murkomen.
Yeah.
Usias mimi staki.
Designer shoes.
Belt. Talk about it. Like, you look at money, you're like, is there really financial freedom?
Yeah. There is.
How? Who has it?
Because there's no, you see, you're saying, if I have money, you're saying that having money means I don't work. No, work and money are not the same things. People work out of passion. People work out of purpose. People work because they want to. Think about it. The richest men in the world. You see them still waking up at 5 a.m. These are the guys who work until late at night. Why? They're not working because they have to. They work because they want to.
Okay. What is financial freedom?
So, now here's the difference. I believe, and that's what we teach at Centonomy, that financial freedom is when you don't have to work. Did you hear the difference? So you're working because you want to. You're working because you want to make an impact in people's lives. Those guys that you've just listed there, they're working because they have something greater than just money that they're looking for. And I think those people who find that thing, they work not because they have to. It's because they want to. And that's a powerful thing. And when you're in that same space, let me tell you, the effectiveness of your work even goes up. Because now you're not working because somebody's chasing you. No. Now you're working because you're pushing yourself to make an impact in life.
Si rendi menikabako.
No.
So sisi venye rent imetukaba kosa hizi financial freedom kidogo.
Bado.
Tucheze mbali.
Bado.
Tutulie.
Yes. You're still on the journey.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, Centonomy, what does it do?
So, we are a financial literacy and content company.
Okay.
So, we educate people in the area of financial literacy and entrepreneurship. So, we're helping people to manage their money to build wealth and also to build businesses for legacy. That's what we do. So, we're an education company. People come to us to learn so that they're able to take control of their finances. That's what it's all about.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Aya. 3 things.
3.
Entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Investment. Savings.
Very good. First of all, I like that you separated all of those.
Yes.
That's somebody who's already educated. That's good. That means we're not starting from the beginning.
Yeah.
Well done, first of all. You
Okay.
separated the two. So, entrepreneurship is a skill set of running businesses. Okay? That's one. Investment is where you're putting your money into an instrument where you want it to grow over time.
Okay.
That's investment.
Okay.
Saving is putting aside cash in an instrument where it is secure and you can access it in an emergency. That's why I'm so excited that you separated those 3 things.
Okay.
So there's a difference. So many people think that saving is the same thing as investing. It's not the same thing. So if you confuse the two, you can find yourself wondering, why am I not growing? Why is my money not growing? Because you put your money into a savings instrument. Somebody else put their savings, now this is a mistake people, put their savings into an investment instrument, which is a big, big mistake. Because an investment instrument tends to go up, down, more volatile. When you hear people are saying it's a volatile investment, there's higher risk. It means it goes up, down, but over the long term, you see the returns that you're looking for. That's an investment. So let me give you an example. Big mistake if you take your savings and go and put them into the shares market, for example, the stock market.
Okay.
If you put your savings there, you have made a mistake. Why? Because the stock market can be up today, tomorrow, just because of an article in the newspaper, it's down.
Okay.
Because of what happened in the USA. See, President Trump came out and said, USA, we are cutting. So many companies that were linked to that, their share price goes down. So in the short term, if now next month now you had put your savings so that you can be able to withdraw and go pay school fees. See, in 1 month, 2 months, the share has gone down. Big mistake. But over the long term, when we're talking about 10 years, 20 years, in the stock market, your money is going to get one of the best returns over time in good stocks. So that's the reason. Okay. So you don't put savings into an investment instrument. And you don't put investment into a savings instrument. If you mix the two, trouble.
I was watching, I think it was it Jeff Bezos? I think it was Jeff Bezos. He was saying there's a time when their shares were going really down, but the money was still coming in.
Yeah.
So he was not really worried about the shares. How does that work? Because I thought shares ikienda chini won to the nyinyi rudini ushago.
Okay. I think, when you talk about Jeff Bezos, that's Amazon in the US. We can't relate.
Okay.
So can I bring it local?
Bring it home, yeah.
Can I bring it
localize
so that people here understand?
Let it happen.
Safaricom. Yeah. Let's talk about Safaricom. Safaricom, when they went into the market, the IPO, if you remember many years ago.
Yeah.
When they went into the market, their share price, they were selling at 5 bob. Okay?
Okay.
So the share went onto the market. Do you remember? Does anyone remember what happened immediately it went onto the market? Does anyone remember? No, don't.
Yeah.
Hey, no.
For real? Okay, you remember? Very good. We have no idea, man. Okay. We were not born.
So most people
we are children.
Wait. No, most people remember that apparently the share price went down. It didn't go down. It actually went up. So hit the market. After the IPO, it was at 5 bob. Went into the market, it went up. What people think is slightly to 7 bob. So when you think about that, you think Safaricom went from 5 shillings to 7 shillings, about 7 shillings or so. So what do people hear? The share price increased by what? 2 shillings. No, wrong understanding. What is 2 shillings to 5 shillings? That's nearly 40%. So what did that mean? A guy who had bought shares at 5 bob, and maybe they bought 1 million shillings worth when it was 5 bob. Now, when it goes up to 7 shillings, they are now worth not 1 million, but 1.4 million shillings within a few days. That is the kind. Now you begin to understand where people make real money. Because when you had 5 to 7 shillings, you thought it's 2 bob. No. To an investor, they understand it has grown by what? Nearly 40%.
Okay.
So, after it hit 40% growth, an investor knows, if I've made in a few days, I've made 40%, what should I do? Immediately, sell. You see, when I say it like that, immediately you got it.
Yeah.
So the guys who made their 40%, what did they do? They sold. When the shares have been sold, what happens to the market? There's an oversupply. So the price of the share does what? Goes down. But here's the question. Did Safaricom lose any customers? No. Did their network fail? No. Did they lose any cash in their bank as a business?
Lose money.
They didn't lose any cash in the bank. This was a stock price valuation. So in the bank, they have their cash. Did their management change? Michael Joseph, did he disappear at that point? No. So Safaricom as a business was still steady. All that happened was the market decided that because there was an oversupply of shares, then supply and demand, the share price went down to 2 bob. Now, you see people who were asking their uncle, they were asking their friends, what should we do? They bought Safaricom shares. What were they thinking now? Hey, we're about to lose all our money. They bought it at 5 bob. They saw it went down to 3, to 2, to 1. It didn't go to 1. Just about 2 bob is where it was. People were doing what? Selling. Now, who came back at that time? You see, the guy who sold it when it was 7 bob came back and said, is this not the same company, the same one that I sold just a few days ago for 7 shillings? Has anything changed at Safaricom? Nothing. Please give me back my shares. And those who held onto those shares from that time till now, man, you don't even want to know the kind of returns they've made over time. So here's the thing. If I put my savings, see, now we're asking about savings and investment.
Yes.
If I put my savings now for school fees next month into the shares in Safaricom, and it went through that cycle, and I found that when the school fees are needed, the share price has gone down to 2 bob, now I've made a mistake. But the guys who put money and they said, I'm not leaving because I understand the fundamentals of the business that I'm investing in, over time, they have made much higher returns. So, thank you for separating saving and investing. Put money for savings in a savings instrument. Put money for investment in an investment instrument. That's it.
Okay.
Yes.
I have so many questions I want to ask you that I've never understood. We're going to get into there. But wacha tukupatie kinywaji. Naona hata watu wetu wanasema kwani guest apatiwi kinywaji. Yes. Alafu Lilian Jalema anasema Obinna huyu guest anajua kweli maths ilitushinda. Watu pia wanasema bia guest aongee polepole, sisi sisi ni maduanzi.
Nitajaribu.
Wapunguzie. Unampa raka, you know when the shares go up, you know when it dips, you know they sell them. Huh? What do you mean up where? Zinaenda juu wapi? So slow it down for them. Pamela saidia mgeni na kitu ya kukunywa. Huyu anaitwa Pamela.
Pamela.
Pamela the investor. The saver.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, you're the investor
and the reader also.
Very good.
Yeah.
Maji moto.
Okay.
Yes, tafadhali.
Okay.
Haya. Tuendelee. Wacha maji nakuja. Sasa hii mambo ni serious.
Very good.
Haya. So, I want us to get to the conversations about saving money and everything.
Please.
But before you, I want you to explain a few things for me.
Please.
Let's start with tuanzie Forex.
Okay.
Because hii ndio sasa inamaliza vijana hapa. Nimeona Kenyan Prince amenunua convertible.
Yes.
Hata mimi nataka kununua convertible.
Uh-huh.
Forex.
Uh-huh.
Is it real? How does it work? Let's just know that part kwanza, alafu ndio turudi. Na hii forex hao vijana wanafanya ni ukweli? Hapo, tuanzie hapo.
Okay. So first of all, let me just state it very clearly.
Okay.
I am not an expert at every financial instrument that is out there in the world. I am not.
Okay.
And one of the strengths of Centonomy in our training is that we have experts in different fields who come and train.
Okay.
So when you come into a class that we run at Centonomy, you'll talk about personal finance, you'll talk about shares, you'll talk about real estate. And the person who's training you in that area is an expert, in their
that
field.
area, yeah.
So here's my simple response around Forex. Is it real? Yes. Forex trading has been there for a long time.
Okay.
And all it is you're trying to predict essentially the market value of one currency to another. Foreign exchange. So you talk about Kenya shillings to US dollar, or Kenya shillings to Japanese yen, or Kenya shillings to whichever South African rand. And if you're trading in that same space, here's the difference. The people who make money generally, from my understanding, but I'd love for you to bring some of these Forex experts. They've got some wonderful guys that we worked with recently, guys at FX Pesa and other places where they do that. Please invite them to come. Is that the people who generally make money are professionals in that space. What does that mean? That they spend day in, day out trading. What does that mean? They're looking at the market. They're paying attention to what's happening internationally. Because it is not what happens here in Kenya that affects the Forex market. It's what happens between... Now, let's give a good example. The guys who are really trading and they understand are paying very close attention to what President Trump of the US is doing. Why? Because the moment he came in, he started saying these new things about tariffs. What does tariffs do? It begins to move and change the trade between countries. And if you talk about the US is the biggest market in the world. They're the ones who buy the most products. Okay. So if they're going to put a tax on what's coming in from China, what's coming in from Canada, what's coming in from Mexico, if they're going to do that, then what's going to happen to the price of those goods and services? They go up. Then what's going to happen now to the value of the currencies that are going to play? Now, depending on which side of the game you are, the currency may go up and down. So if you're in the market, you cannot be expecting to be a part-time trader and make money. Your life is in front of those screens to know what's happening in China, what's happening in Europe, what's happening, all these different factors play into that Forex trading. And so, is it real? Yes. But the people who are making money are the ones who actually are professional. They do this for a living. And it's not something that you learn in 1 day, 2 days, and suddenly you are an expert.
1 week.
No. These are people who do it over a long term.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Aya. Shares.
Yes.
What are shares? How do you get shares?
Very good.
Because unasikia tu shares, niko na shares Equity. Niko na shares Safaricom.
Very good.
Uh-huh.
It's a good investment. So let me mention something about shares, which I'd like people to think about.
Okay.
The last time I was speaking to one of my friends who's a stockbroker. Stockbroker are the ones who buy and sell shares on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. So if you are an individual, you're not going to go and buy directly. You have to go through a broker. Okay. And there are licensed brokers who are there. So one of my friends is a broker. You just mentioned something to me that has stuck with me. I'm not sure if the numbers are the same. This was a couple of years ago, but I am sure they are close to this. Yeah. Listen to this number. Over 60% of the transactions on the Nairobi Securities Exchange are by foreigners.
Oh, wow.
So when I ask myself, where are the Kenyans? Our own market. 60% of the transactions are by foreigners. Why? Because people are looking for where there's growth and where there's value. That's what they're looking for. So let me now explain what are shares. What are shares? Shares are part ownership of a company. Okay. That's it. So, for example, if I own shares in KCB Bank, I own a piece of it together with many other shareholders.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all it is. It's saying that I own, let's say I invest 10,000 shillings in shares in KCB. I own 10,000 worth of KCB.
Okay.
So when KCB gets a profit, you hear of 10, 20 billion in profit.
Yeah.
When they decide to share out the returns, they will calculate what is the percentage of my 10,000 bob, and I get that part, and it's called a dividend. That's what it is. But essentially, what are shares? Part ownership of a company. So if I have shares in KCB, I am an owner of KCB. That's as simple as it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. When the next.
Yes.
What are bonds?
What are bonds?
Yes, hii pia nimesikia sana.
Very
bonds. Buy bonds, wanaambianga. Buy some
Yeah.
bonds. You know, buy some bonds. But nobody has ever sat me down and told me, Obinna,
What is
bonds
a
ni
bond?
A, B, C, D.
Yes.
Ya lapio ukipata watu wakiflows. Bwana, I have bonds, wanasemanga, my money, msa kitaka kukopesha do.
Yes.
I'm not liquid now because my money is tied up in bonds.
Yes.
Use bonds hapa na pale. I'm like, huh? James Bond. I'm messing with you.
So bonds, what are bonds? And especially here, you'll be talking about government bonds.
Yes.
Okay. So simple way of understanding it. A government, and this is all around the world.
Okay.
Pretty much every government in the world has a budget, and they plan for a budget to build roads, pay for healthcare, schools, all the things that a government should do, security, armed forces, all these things cost money. And a government can look at the people in their country and the amount of tax that they pay. Like in this country of ours called Kenya, and they looked and they said the amount of tax we are going to collect will not be enough to pay for all the things that are there.
Yeah.
So what must the government do? The government must now go out and borrow to fill the gap of their budget.
Okay.
So in borrowing is where bonds come. And they say, we will borrow from you, the Kenyan. And we'll say, Kenyans, we need money to build a Thika superhighway. And that is called infrastructure. In fact, if you hear about it, those are the most popular bonds. You'll hear infrastructure bonds. Why? Because they say, we need whatever, 100 billion shillings to build Thika superhighway. Okay? Kenyans, can you lend us money so that we can build that highway? And if you lend us, we'll repay you, and we'll repay you plus interest.
Okay.
That's what it is. So you as a Kenyan, you have the right to lend the government money, and the government will promise to pay you back with interest. That's essentially what a government bond is.
Okay.
And so here's something that you need to know. Even if you have never bought a bond, do you have a bank account?
Yebo.
Savings. You have invested in bonds.
Wanatumia pesa yako huko. Bank ndio inanunua
exactly,
bonds na pesa yako.
Exactly.
So you rather even just buy the bonds.
When it depends. It depends.
Usikwe na ile savings.
It depends.
Okay.
It depends. So essentially, banks are the biggest buyers of bonds if you think about it in Kenya.
Okay.
So they take our savings money, they go and they buy big chunks of bonds from the government, and the government promises to pay them back the interest, and the interest that they earn is what they give you back on your side as interest on your savings. So it's one of the ways that banks make money. So, but you as a Kenyan, by the way, in fact, the first time I learned about bonds, I was a student of Centonomy first. Mm-hmm. And our trainer that time when I took the class, he's a trader in bonds. And he told us, please, students, I want you to walk down Haile Selassie Avenue, go to the Central Bank of Kenya and ask them to open an account. I never knew as a Kenyan have you seen the amount of security outside there? So even when I went there, I was shocked because no one stopped me. I walked straight in. I got the documents.
Ngoja. Central Bank.
Central Bank of Kenya.
Wait, wacha.
I'm serious.
Unaweza fungua bank account Central Bank?
Yes. It's called a CDS account.
Correct. Did you know that? Okay, is there anybody who knew that here? You see? Our people perish for lack of knowledge. I had no idea. Mimi nilifikiria Central Bank ni bank tu ya Kenya.
Yes.
Yenye wanatumia kufanya biashara zao huko.
It's your bank. It's called Central Bank of Kenya.
For the government to trade, wachukue loan IMF.
No, even you can go and open an account there. Yes.
Okay.
That
Guys, we have something to do tomorrow. Tunaenda kufungua. Okay, kufungua hapo account inatusaidia aje?
so that you can buy and sell bonds.
So where's buy bonds kama una bank ya nini?
If you don't have it, it's called a CDS account with the central bank.
Okay, bonds ni pesa ngapi? Zinarenjia wapi?
So-
Pesa nunua ya Ruabe.
So the government borrows, and you've even had like Euro bond.
Yes.
Now they borrow from foreigners. So they borrowed in foreign currency that time. So Euro bond, it's still a bond, but from foreigners. Then they have the local bonds in Kenya shillings. That's what you and I can lend the government, and they'll promise to pay you back
They'll promise.
with interest.
Do they pay back?
Yes.
Oh, unajua kusema they'll promise kidogo hapo.
No.
Hapo kwa promises we have.
So here's how you have to think about it. We have been a nation for 60 years now.
Yeah.
The government has never failed to pay its bonds. So let me put an asterisk there at the top. Can they fail? Yes. Have they ever failed? No.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Bond ni pesa ngapi?
So there are two levels. So at the central bank, you can lend for short term or you can lend for long term. If it is short term, that's less than 1 year, less than 365 days, it's called a treasury bill. Sawa. So if it is less than 365 days, called a treasury bill. If it is longer than 365 days, longer than 1 year, it's called a bond.
Okay.
For a treasury bill, I believe the minimum amount you can invest is 100,000 shillings. Okay. For government bond, I believe the minimum you can do is 50,000 shillings for a bond, which is now longer than 1 year. They had introduced a small where you can invest at 3,000 shillings for a bond, but I would not recommend that. I would not recommend it. Now, you can go and ask other financial advisors. There's no problem. They might advise you to do that. But can I explain why? Let me explain why. So currently, government bonds are going for a return of about between 10 and 15%, okay, per year. 10 to 15% per year. If I put 3,000 bob and I earn 10% in 1 year, I have earned 300 shillings. Sawa. Now, is that a really good investment? I'm not sure. If I've put 3,000. If I took 3,000 bob and went and bought eggs and brought them to the market and sold that 3,000 bob worth of eggs, I'll get more within a shorter period of time.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I would say put in more, the larger amount in bonds, because that return per year is not, you don't want to put small 3,000 shillings. Doesn't get you anywhere. So you can lend the government at that level, and every year they will pay you in cash the amount. So if I put 100,000 and it's 10% return on that bond, that year I will get 10,000 shillings cash.
After 1 year.
So for a bond which is more than 1 year period of time, they pay every 6 months. So if it's 10,000 in a year, I will get 5,000 after 6 months, and after another 6 months, I get another 5,000.
So it's even better to put a bond.
Yes.
Then I put more money. Put like
If
a
you
million.
have,
Like a million huko unafunga macho.
Yes.
So every 6 months unapata kiru kadogo.
Yes. So let me explain. Understanding the use of an investment is very important.
Okay.
Government bonds are very good for income, cash. They are similar to rental property. If a tenant is there, every month you just know they are going to pay you. Think of a government bond the same way. It's good for cash flow.
Okay.
So in fact, if you take my assignment and you go Central Bank of Kenya, you'll be surprised the people who you're sitting next to there. Most of them have gray hair. Why? Because they're in retirement. And what do they need?
Ni rad rod. Wako na hiyo ni kama ni rad rod hapo sasa.
Thank you. They are looking for instruments that give them cash flow. Now, here's the thing. One thing that people need to understand is even if you hear of a government bond has a high rate of return per year, it is different from even your savings account. Why? Because government bonds are simple interest. Let me explain. This year I put in 100,000, I will get, and it's 10%, I will get 10,000 shillings cash. Next year, still my same 100,000, I will get how much? 10,000 cash. In my savings account, if I leave the interest that I earn, I will earn interest on interest, which is what, remember from primary school, we learned about compounding. That compounding return is what you get from an instrument like your savings account or others like shares and others. You get compounding returns. In a government bond, it is simple interest. I put in 100K for 5 years. Every year I will get 10K cash. And after 5 years, they pay me back my 100K. So it never grows.
Why after 5 years?
If it was a 5-year bond, it can be a 5-year bond, 10 years, up to 30 years, but we've not had a 30-year bond for a long time in Kenya. So depending on how long you put your money into that bond, every year you get 10%.
But I'm just thinking, if you know, it also has its downsides.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to do the math. I'm like, I put 100 Gs. Then let's say it's 10%.
Yeah.
So every year I'm getting 10 Gs.
10 Gs.
So for me to make 100 Gs,
Yeah.
that has to be 10 years.
Yeah. That's why I said it's for what? Cash flow, for income. So now let me show you where it begins to make sense, in my opinion. But you can talk to other investment advisors. It now begins to make sense when you put in real money. We talk about real money. Sawa.
Yeah, but even if you put real money, if you look at
Here's what, let me explain. If I put 30 million into a bond that's earning me 10%, what does that mean? Every year I'm making 3 million shillings. Sawa. If I put 30 million into an apartment, sawa. Generally in Kenya, on average, people are going to make about 5% return in real estate, rental real estate. That's the difference. So in the bond, you're making 10%. In the apartment, you're making how much? 5.
Okay.
So if I'm in retirement and I want cash, it's a good option.
Okay.
Yes.
If you say it like that, if you compare it with something else.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I said when you go to central bank, you'll see guys with gray hair. Why? Because they have said, sometimes chasing after tenants, maintenance,
that is true.
looking for...
Why a landlord a tenant, government a tenant?
Thank you.
Yako.
So and I'm not saying that there are very good benefits to real estate, for example.
Yeah.
So in as much as the cash flow is 5%, here's the difference. If I own an apartment, every year the value of that apartment will go up. Yeah. And that's why I will charge my tenant more money every year. Okay. But in the government bond, my 30 million remains 30 million for the time that I'm there.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk money market fund.
Please.
What's that? And how does it work?
So, money market fund, how do I explain it simply? So a money market fund is a type of investment called unit trusts.
Okay.
In the US and other markets, they're called mutual funds. But here in Kenya, we'll call it a unit trust. Now, what is it? What is it? In the most simplest way, it is a pooled investment, almost like a chama, almost. But it's regulated. It's usually regulated. It's regulated by the Capital Markets Authority and by the central bank, okay?
Okay.
It's like a chama, but think of it like this. If all of us were in a money market fund, for example, and I'll come back to, let me say unit trust, then I'll explain a money market fund. It means we have all pooled our money together. Each of us, we brought our cash. You brought 1 million, he brought 50,000, he brought 1,000, all of us, and you put it together. And you give that money to who you call a fund manager. Let's say Waithaka is the fund manager.
Yeah.
We have many fund managers. Most banks have unit trusts. Most insurance companies have unit trusts. That institution is your fund manager. So let's say Waithaka is the fund manager. So I take all our money and I go and I invest on your behalf. And whatever returns, whether it's profit or loss, we all share. That's what it is.
Unit trust.
That's what a unit trust is.
Okay.
Now, you have asked a very specific one. You have asked a money market fund.
Yes.
Money market fund is a type of unit trust. And this is what will help most people with this. You can tell the type of unit trust by its name. So you named it and said money market fund. So where is the money that being invested in that unit trust? In the money market. What is the money market? It is bank deposits and usually short-term like investments like Treasury bills, essentially low risk. So can I give you what to equate it? A money market fund is like a savings account. It's in the same region as a savings account, almost the same risk profile. What does that mean? Your money is pretty safe in a money market fund. Why? Because they're not looking for other types of investments like shares, like commodities and other things. They're looking at around the same thing.
Okay.
So if I'm looking for an option to put my savings, I'll look at savings accounts, fixed deposits, and things like a money market fund, because money market fund is low risk. Now, can I give you another one?
Okay.
You'll hear of another fund called an equity fund. Now, it's not for Equity Bank. It is equities, which are shares in the stock market. So if you put your money into that fund, an equity fund, where is your money being invested? So you'll give the fund manager, Waithaka, and he goes and invests it where? In the stock market. You will hear of a bonds fund. If it's a bonds fund, Waithaka will take your money and invest in bonds. Then there are these newer ones that you hear of, special investment, where they invest in multiple things. So you have shares here, you have Forex, you have commodities like gold and other things, but the fund manager is going to invest in those things based on the name of the fund. Okay. Yes.
We? Watu wangu kwenye comment section mnaelewa kitu? Class, amusha huyo kijana, Omera, amusha huyo kijana inalala hapo kwa backbench. Daniel Kioko, umesema it makes sense. Mnaelewa kweli? Gladys Nyeri anasema guest ako fine, actually was my classmate.
Hey.
Toko hapa huku. Isaac Ndemo, leo nimetoka mjengo niko class ya financial literacy.
Hey.
Ndio hiyo sasa.
Good.
Okay. Asking about money market fund. Ndio hiyo tumekuwa. Yes. Young people don't like things that need brains to think. That is very, very true. Ingekuwa mushene tu, nyinyi mulifanyana aje kwa TikTok. So, we're taking a short break. We're going to be right back. We're starting with your questions. Any question you want to know about this sector, ask it. And then I will come back so nianze kumuuliza hizi tuko nazo hapa. For example, the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make in the first 3 years of business, how to avoid them. Let's talk about people struggling with saving money despite having a good income, okay? Let's talk about ways to save, the minimum that someone should start with. Let's talk about the advice for people to invest and where they should start from. Let's talk about the capital that someone needs to start a business. Let's talk about the rise of the get-rich-quick schemes that are there now. And then on the wealth building side, what should young people focus on instead? Let's talk about debts, madeni. What is the major challenge? When is it okay to take a loan? Which loan is it okay? Which loan should someone avoid and why? We're going to be talking about that one as well. Let's talk about terms kitu kama pesa haizunguki. Unaona wakisemanga pesa haizunguki, what wanamaanisha? Maze, pesa haizunguki. By the way, ushaijua that kama kuna traffic inamaanisha pesa inazunguka? Ama hujajua that kama kuna jam hiyo ni do? Kuna jam, guy, mi jam ina ni bo. Ukiona jam hiyo ni do. What does that mean? Okay? Let's talk about the number one mindset shift that people need to make so they can move from financial struggles.
Yeah.
Okay, unapata unamengi tu do na ujui kapesa kanendanga wapi, lakini kuna kapesa kana kamingi na kuna beshti yako na make do less than you, but they're just living a good life. Uko like, hey, come on, what's not happening over there? Also, let's talk about how to quit a failing business. Umekazana tu, how do you know this business is not making money? How do I quit that one? And the financial lessons that young people know in early life, we're going to be talking about that one. Okay, so this one and many more. We're going to be talking about all that. But for now, let's talk about Dignity Furniture. Then also, I want you guys to catch up with new episodes of Ipindire every Saturday. And then let's also talk about Goldchild Media Institute. Then we'll be right back. This is Dignity Furniture. Our clearance sale is on and all our products have amazing offers. Check it out.
Nikasikia tu ngumi kwa masikio na ndi. Sasa masikio kaza tu ndi. Sasa mimi kutoka hapo hivyo natoroja najaribu kukimbia sasa tena nakutana na super drum kwa kichwa ndi.
Minister of Enjoyment Kasongo, Mr. William Continental. We unanielewa? Mimi ni mtu international. Si maneno ya kudildila hapa, sijui local TV, sijui local radios. Bana. Ni watch mpaka international.
Patia yeye mchele kilo 2, unga kilo 2, mafuta kilo 2, chumvi kilo 1, sukari kilo 2, ili wawe kwanza wameshiba kabla wasikize uongo.
Fungulia TV uone vijana wako wakifanya mambo, alafu sasa sisi tunafanya mambo yetu.
Rafiki yetu Kebaso alikuwa pale kwa Ng'ang'a.
Kebaso alitembelea kwa Ng'ang'a. Ng'ang'a akafanya mambo yake.
Na yeye akasema lazima ita trend.
Commander.
And it was trending.
It was trending kabisa. Hii ilikuwa mbaya. Anasema
Welcome to Goldchild Media Institute, where talent meets opportunity. This is the place where your media dreams come alive. And guess what? We've got something for everyone. Do you love the camera? We offer videography and photography classes. Action! Shoot! Take. Jesus. Nimepiga nani picha. And for those who love music production, yes, we have the course. Mpaka wale wama chiki anguka sound and graphic design. And trust me, this is just the start. We offer so much more. Over here at Goldchild, it's all practical learning, no boring theory. Basically, here at Goldchild Media Institute, we prepare you with the real skills for you to thrive in the real world.
At Goldchild, I feel like a pro already.
Enroll today by dialing the number on the screen and find us in Nairobi Development House, 11th floor. All right, welcome back. We're having a very interesting money conversation. Na maswali zimeanza kukuja hapa moto. So before I get to mine, let me tackle yours first. So the first one, Jane Mulei, bank loans versus SACCO loans. Which is which? Which one is good?
I'm going to get in trouble. Please don't ask me such hard questions. Listen, why am I getting in trouble? Because my answer is going to be annoying. The answer is, it depends. It depends.
Okay.
So, SACCOs It's good because generally you can use your savings and multiply on your savings. So your savings becomes the collateral. It becomes the security for the loan.
Yeah.
Banks, they have benefits as well because of managing your cash flows, because of relationships, because of other instruments and tools that are available, especially like for business owners, where you can be able to get other types of loans like overdrafts and other things. So it really depends on where you're looking to grow. I would say generally for individuals, SACCOs are a good place because it's forcing you to save, and then the interest on the loans tends to be lower, but you have to save first. So I like that for individuals. For businesses, you may want to consider banks simply because of the other relationships that are in there and other tools that you can use with banks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam Isaac, muulize best commodities to invest.
Here's the answer for that question, because I know everywhere I go, I know that question is going to come. Which is the best investment for you?
Yes.
Here's my answer, and I'm not skiving. I'm not escaping your answer. The best investment, Obinna, is the one that matches your goal. That's the best investment.
Okay.
So if your goal is growth over the long term, so you look for investments that give a higher rate of return. If your goal is savings for the short term, then you look for secure investments. So you look for an investment that matches your goal. Okay. The second thing that you have to know about investments is how much do you know? If you don't know anything about it, please don't invest. I got in so much trouble a few years ago because I did a video on YouTube, and it was people were asking, should you invest in cryptocurrency? And I said, no. Why? Because people didn't understand how they were investing. If you understand, invest. If you don't understand, don't invest. So when somebody asks which is the best commodity, the number of commodities that are out there in the world to invest in, gold, oil, sugar, whatever. I mean, it's impossible for me to answer which one is best. Are people making money from oil today? Yes. Are people making money from gold today? Yes. But they didn't just start making money like this. They've been in the market for a long time, so they understand how the markets work, and they'll get a good return. So maybe some people didn't understand what commodities are. Commodities are things that are not differentiated. Hey, kizungu mingi.
Yeah.
Gold from South Africa is not different from gold from DRC. So when it goes onto the market, gold is gold. So that's a commodity. Oil from Nigeria is not different from oil from Saudi Arabia. Once it enters the market, it's the same. So a commodity is something that's not different from a different market. It's the same thing, and how it's trading in the market, that's a commodity.
Basically, si kama Wamasai. Wamasai wako tu Kenya. Wamasai wa Tanzania kidogo hawaruki juu sana. Manake mambo mingi. Na Wamasai wale pia wako China pia ni very different.
Yeah.
Okay. How can an entrepreneur find fundings for startups or investors?
Wow. Again, the answer is it depends.
Where? Depends iko mingi.
Mingi.
Yes.
So, I can't remember who the writer is. I'm not stealing this from them. The rights belong to them. If you speak to people who are in the entrepreneurship investment, there are 3 levels. I can't remember who said it. I'm stealing it from them for the sake of this. There are the 3 Fs.
Okay.
Friends, family, and fools are the ones who invest at the earliest stage. You know, when somebody has not started, you're opening a shop, you're doing something. The kind of people that you're looking for at that level are called what? Friends, family, and fools. Now, these are good fools. Economists, hey, that word refused for me. Economists have this term, the greater fool. The greater fool is the one who's willing to take a risk where other people are not. They look ahead. They're willing to try something new.
Yeah.
Those are the guys to look for at the early stage. When you have not sold anything, please talk to your friends, to your family, and to those who are willing at that level. There are not many, so talk to friends, family. When the business is now running, and the business now, you can see there's growth, there's potential, now you start looking for other investors. So you look for investment through what we call private equity or what is the other term? It has left my head for a second. Venture capital. So these are now investment companies or individuals who look for businesses where they can see the future. The only way that these guys can see the future is if you show them financials for your business. So you come and show them, for the last 2 years, we have been making profit. Best example. When you look at, we've watched these shows, Kina Shark Tank, Lion's Den, all those. Have you noticed that there are some businesses, when they present their business and they ask them, what have you made the last 2 years? And they say, for the last 2 years, we've made 10 million. The sharks and the lions immediately stand up. Why? Because they understand if a business has been able to sell the product, if you pump more money, what does that mean? It is likely to be able to sell more. So those are venture capitalists and private equity. Banks assist with other issues along. Banks are not for business growth. Banks are there to assist with cash flows in a business. They lend you money to buy an asset like a truck. They lend you money to buy a new, what would you call the machine for your factory. Those are the kind of things that our banks are good for. They lend you cash even to meet the gaps, because those overdrafts.
Yeah.
And then eventually now you can go to the public sector when you talk about now IPOs. So it depends on the stage of business that you're in. For most of the young people we're talking to, talk to your friends, talk to your family, and to anyone in your network who really believes in you. Those are the guys to talk to.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're asking now you can evade tax.
Don't evade tax. That is breaking the law.
There you go. That's the answer. I mean, this double. The video ameandika maraka 15. How do you evade tax? How do you evade tax?
You can avoid tax, but you cannot
evade.
Tax evasion is against the law.
Tax avoidance.
Avoidance. Tax avoidance is about how you organize your assets in the best way to pay the least amount of tax.
Okay.
Yes.
So ambie when you want to avoid.
Business. Okay, let me say this. Businesses are one of the best ways to organize your assets. Why? Because businesses pay tax after costs. What does that mean? When you've paid all your suppliers, you've paid all the other people, whatever is left, if there is a profit, is what you usually pay tax on as a business. But me, when I receive my salary, I pay tax first.
Then what's left?
What is left is what now I survive on.
Okay.
So businesses are a good tool for managing that.
When people say pesa izunguki, what does that mean?
It means they don't have eyes to see. The way you saw. You said it. You said it. If you just need to look around and see that money is flowing.
Yeah.
I had a very funny experience. I was in one of these shopping malls. I shall not name the shopping mall. But I happened to make a mistake. And I walked into one of the shops. I saw they had some nice clothes, some shoes. And I walked into the shop by mistake. And I just happened to pick a shirt. And I said, hey, this is a nice shirt. Until I asked, how much? And the guy very casually said $2,000 US. This is here in Kenya for a shirt. It was not even a suit or anything. This was a shirt. They were not selling it to me in Kenya shillings.
No,
I want you to have the experience.
$2,000
in a shopping mall here in Nairobi.
Kwani ni shop ya Murko? Uko na shop ya?
Where that shop exists and they have customers. When you see, as you said,
yes, they do.
And you said you see the number of cars on these roads. That means that all of them are putting petrol. They have insurance. They are buying tires.
And everybody's working out to buy a car. Hapa kila mtu anataka anunue gari.
Thank you.
So do iko.
So when you say money is not izunguki,
inazunguka ni wenda uioni.
Yes.
Fungua macho. Fungua macho. Fungua macho ili uone pesa. Sawa Korir. So a lot of people struggle with saving money,
Yes.
despite having a good income.
Yes.
Why? How does this happen?
Yani Obinna, let me tell you. People wonder,
Yeah.
look, why is there a business called Centonomy to teach people about money? See, we know. Everyone knows you should save. Everyone knows you should invest. So why don't people do that? One of the things our founder is a lady called Waithaka Gatumia. She discovered that the problems with money is not money itself, it's not access, it is the individual. Let me prove it. I want to do an experiment here with your guys here in this place.
Okay.
Now, I wonder, how many of you know how much you give your relatives every month? Do you guys know?
Zero. I don't even know, man. I don't know.
But do you give them?
A lot.
Thank you.
A lot.
So it means there's a part of your budget that you have no control over. Yes.
Why?
See, your relatives, see, there's a wedding, you are there. There's a funeral.
Funeral,
you are
school
there.
fees,
School fees,
nini,
you are there.
Luku.
Yes. So who's in control of that money?
Not me, clearly.
There's the problem. So it's not that you don't have money, it's that you don't control.
So wewe umejua ni pesa ngapi unapatia relatives wako?
Yes.
Ni pesa ngapi?
It's called where.
No, I'm just thinking.
So
this is per month.
So I will not tell you the amount, but I'll tell you we have a budget.
Like
That's
per month?
what budget is. Yes.
So umesema hapa nikiweka 10k.
Yes.
Per month hii ndio pesa nasaidia
familia.
Okay, let me ask you something.
Let me tell you why. Because if I don't, first of all, this is the truth. As far as I know, in this world, there is only one Savior, and his name is Jesus Christ. His name is not Waithaka Gatumia. His name is not Obinna.
Waambie.
Please.
Mimi naambianga na wasiki.
Me, I'm not the Savior. So, where God has blessed me to help, I should help. But I honestly believe that God has also put me as a manager of the finances he has given me. And if I don't manage them well, you know the story of the talents. The people who don't manage their finances well, your finances will be taken and be given to those who manage well. It's a fact of life. It's a fact of life.
Okay, let me ask something.
Please ask.
About you kuweka pesa kusaidia familia kando.
Yes.
So kuna budget ingine that mimi wewe inanigonga. Wa Kenya.
Yes.
My fans. Everywhere I go.
Yes.
Obinna, mimi ni fan wako mazee. Unatuacha aje?
Yes.
Obinna, from if I park a car,
yes.
From the moment nimeingia na wakajua ni mimi.
Yes.
From hao masoja wako kwa parking to masoja wako hapo kwa lift to masoja wako wapi to everybody you meet is like Obinna.
Yes. Yes.
So in a day you might spend some money.
Yes.
Hata if you didn't intend to.
Yeah.
Maze sijakula lunch masoja hizo maso mbili napea 200 nini.
Yeah.
Kuna hizo when you eat in a restaurant waiter you have to tip them. Kwa tip tena Obinna really.
No, first of all wait.
Yeah.
You have said the wrong thing. Yeah. Which law says you have to tip?
The law of the people.
Aye.
Oh, you have to tip.
Are they in your house to know what your problems are? This is one of the problems we have. People don't understand. You have a whole... I wish the camera could go around here and show the number of people you have to take care of over here. These people are not here. Are you guys here for free? You're being paid. This is
Wana anauliza if you have for free na menyamaza. You are here for free. Cheki wase ati you have for free alafu wameumba nini? Hey,
they've never been asked a question by the guest. Everyone here, you are responsible for them. Guys don't know what that means. Guys don't know what it means to run a business like what you're doing.
So what ngumu.
In fact, I learned this. Let me tell you this story. You know when you have relatives, and there's a fundraiser for whatever it is going. You know relatives are not of the same level. And it used to bother me because I knew these relatives of ours, my 2,000, for them to feel the same pain of my 2,000, they'd have to give maybe 2 million. You know that, the difference, eh? And I used to wonder, but when we're doing a fundraiser in that place, everyone is giving 5K, even them, they give 5K. And it used to bother me. I was like, hey, no. What does that mean? They have control on their money. In this fundraiser that they had no plan for, they will give the 5K like every other family. But at the same time, that family is able to go and build a whole school to help that community. Do you see the difference? Because they have control. If they're out of control, they can't make the impact that they have in this world. So let me take that back from you. You are not the savior of this world. Help where you can help, but you can't help everybody. So can I give you an idea? Let me give you an idea. Okay. I saw it somewhere and I was so shocked. Just down the road over here, I was buying a car from a car yard here on Gong Road. And as I was buying the car, you go and look at it, then you go, then you come back, that whole thing. On one of the days I came back, I saw the owner of the car yard, and he called his nephew. Now, this is another thing that we need to learn. Teach your relatives about business. That kid is 17 and he was at work in his uncle's shop. Now, this uncle called the kid. He went to his drawer and he removed money, a stack like this. Not of thousands, of 50 bobs. He took that same stack. I saw this 17-year-old boy walking to the gate, and he stood at the gate. 2 minutes later, you just see many people. These were all ladies, people, machokora, from the road they came. And what was he doing? Step like this. What was he giving? 50 bob each. And when it was finished, he said, Imeisha. And he walked away. Did he help people? Yes. And he helped to the level he had budgeted. Maybe that's something that you can be able to do. If there's pressure on your life, every time you go and meet, have your budget, don't carry thousands. Carry what?
250.
250. So when somebody asks, you have given them.
Unapatianga 50 wanajam. Kuna siku nilipost, some fan said hi to me in Mombasa.
Yeah.
And in a petrol station. That video really went, aliniona kashtuka, oh my God, nini. Then nikatoa, nilikuwa nimekunja, I think zilikuwa 50k tatu or something. Nikampatia.
Yes.
Ile tu, comment section.
Yeah.
50 bob.
Yeah.
50 bob ni kitu.
I understand.
It's like,
But here's,
why are you entitled to my money?
Let me tell you the comment section that will be the worst. Obinna, if you joke around and you lose all your money and they see you on the street, have you not seen entertainers in this country begging in this country? What do they say about those guys?
Obinna alikuwa nayo akaharibu pesa yake kwa wasichana na pombe.
Thank you.
Iwe funzo.
Thank you. So if you are living according to the comment section, although I know what were media, and I understand you try and deal with the comment section, but you cannot live your life according to the comment section. You can't.
Every Monday, we don't have less than 10 people who come here.
Thank you.
With different situations. For the last 3 Mondays, nimekuwa nikihepa na backdoor. Juu kuna mtu anakam, ile ingine alikam, ingine tena hii, anakam, anakuja nakapa asubuhi mpaka 3 am when you're finishing, baada amekapo, ashaongea na Roba, my manager, akaongea na Leslie, akaongea na Omosh, wamwambia iwezi. Yamesema pana, mimi Obinna ndiye ananisaidia, mimi stoki hapa kama Obinna hajanisaidia. Na wanakaa, so huwezi fukuza msia, huwezi piga msia, then this is also a restaurant.
Yeah.
So what do? You gotta run away. You're running away.
Yeah.
Because amekapo mpaka 3 am, amekapo anasema mimi nangoja Obinna nisaidie.
Yeah.
Na unasikia problem sana ambia Obinna, I need 70,000 due for what? Me I need 50,000.
Let me give you a story so that you understand. Money is not a joke, and it's not a joke around the world. Now I'm going to show how old I am by this story. Do you remember a rap superstar, guy called MC Hammer? Do you remember?
No, I wasn't born. You can't touch this.
Hey, wait. I knew it would come. Go and
can't touch this. Hey, can't touch this.
Yes, that one. That guy made close to $50 million between his first 2 albums. This is in the 90s. $50 million. the guy went bankrupt. Because by the time he was going to his second album, on the stage, dancing with him was his whole village. And he was paying them salaries of $50,000 each per year. Even $50 million can disappear.
Where?
So here's what my advice to celebs like you. Help where you can. After that, the answer is no. No is a full answer. You can't help everybody. But I want you to be more purposeful with your giving. I want you to go and open an Obinna library at your former school. Do you know how schools don't have books? Go and show people that will make a bigger difference. Why? Because if 1,000 kids go through that library and 10 of them learn how to start a business because of the books that you put, those 10 guys will employ another 10 people. Do you see the knock-on effect? But if you try and solve every problem of guys who come over here in this place,
you can't.
You will mess it up.
You can't. Me, a couple of times. Yeah. You see every situation that comes over here, and it makes me feel so bad. Even when I tell someone, hey, nishamaliza hii wiki, tushamaliza kusaidiana hii wiki. Because sometimes you look at how people just don't understand. They're like, no, it doesn't happen. Like, for example, we had a young man who came here. The ule boy alikuwa mistreated na mamake. Kariobangi or something. Yeah? Mian. We had a boy called Lil Mian. Came over here. He DM'd me, hey, I have this situation, I told him, come, let's share your story. We shared the story. Kenyans here, the mother was abusive. The mother was ashawo, nini, mambe kachemka. He was here. Touching story. Guys wakamchangia do, nini, tukambia, haya, this one go start with. Akasema, sawa, nini, kudos, nini. Got a lot of money. Boy disappeared for a while. Then, the guy came back. So there's a day we are here. The guy is here. It's like he's back. Sijui alienda sijui Mombasa. Sijui place imefanya nini. So sijui alibebwa na trailer. Sijui akashikishwa sijui Machakos. Sijui walk for 3 days. How do you walk for 3 days from that Machakos junction to Nairobi? For 3 days. Sijui hajaoga. Sijui what. Anataka Obinna mpangie nyumba. Na mweke. So spoke to Omosh, Roba, the whole team the way you always do. The protocol. Talk to Omosh. If it's something, hey, Obi, kuna kitu hapa ABCD. They want to leave. Spoke with Roba, Munez akakata. The boy waited. We were leaving here around 4 a.m. Leaving, the boy is here. Nimeenda hivi, nimetoka na huku. Kumbe boy amejipanga. Natoka hivi akasimama mbele ya gari. I'm just like, takuja hapo. Obinna nini. Then you get so aggressive to a point. I'm like, I don't owe you. And I've already tried, and there's many other people that we need to help. And the guy still texts me until today and anambia, like that day I'll insist akanambia, he needs to go to, I think, to Nyeri, to a friend, sijui what, inafaa, sijui nini, nikambia, and, ati yo sina transport, nikambia, transport ni pesa ngapi? 600, nikambia, umengoja hapa the whole day for 600, nikaita Munez kama Mosh kam, pia umse 600, aende Nyeri. Ati lakini saa unajua, iyo rent inafani msaidie kulipa, sijui 20, I'm just like, akiza mtime miki tuwa ina niuma.
Here's the thing. And this is why we struggle with our personal finance. Money is not the solution. It's control.
Of the
and
money.
Most people don't have control.
Yeah, that's true.
Obinna, let me tell you, at Centonomy, we've trained all the blue chip companies here in Kenya. And we are called in by HR. I can't even name the companies. And somebody is earning 2 million shillings a month. They are being chased by a Shylock. Yes.
Oh, wow.
They are on probation, earning 2 million shillings a month. Because their lifestyle doesn't matter the amount. If you're earning 2 million, but your lifestyle is 3 million every month, what does it mean?
Living beyond your limits.
Lack of control. So when you're asking, why is there a company like Centonomy to train people? We spend so much time on how do you think so that somebody begins to work out. Oh, that's the problem. Even me, I had that problem. This is the only story. I share it everywhere I go because it's the one I'm allowed to tell by my wife. Because you can't tell all your stories. So if you guys have heard it before, please bear with me. It's the one I'm allowed. Maybe I'll find another story that I'll be allowed.
Okay.
When we started tracking our expenses at home, this was 13 years ago, we had just gotten married. We found out we were spending more on takeout food than our rent in a month. Yeah.
Ulikuwa mnakula rent?
More.
Mnakula rent na deposit?
More than rent.
Mnakula mortgage.
But it's because you don't notice it.
By the way.
So, for us, it was, we were buying lunch at the office. So she's buying lunch, I'm buying lunch. And we think we're being
modest.
We're modest.
Yeah,
it's the office car lunch and you're spending 200, 250. But what you don't understand is there are two of you. So in a day, that's how much? 500. Monday to Friday, 5 times 5, 2,500. Then on Saturday now you say, hey, sherehe kidogo. So you go somewhere nice. So wherever you go, name it. You'll spend maybe how much? What do you think a couple can spend on Saturday?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. No, I know you've gone on a date.
No, it depends. Me nikisema yangu mtamtajam. So wacha nisiseme.
If we came to a place like here,
20K.
Ay.
Ni kidogo. 25.
Ay.
Nini? Oh, 10K. I have 5K bus. 5K. Silimwambia nikisema mnanikasirikia. I have 5,000 bus. Kwani mna spending ndo ngapi mkileka mademu?
People live a different life.
700.
People live a different. I didn't know that's the 700. Level you live. So Pole man. Us guys, you are spending like you go to Java, you spend 3K, you know. I know that's not your level.
But
sorry, so I
apologize. 19 Patopuk. I'm talking about now.
I apologize. But we were spending like 3K.
Look at it this way. Sirloin steak, maybe it's 5.5. Then the two
Where?
of you. So when a ribeye, okay, depends. Depends where you're going. Sirloin steak na ribeye.
Did I come to the right show? Let me just...
So, ufike, first you start with like soup, nini.
Okay,
soup
I understand. I was not at your level. Let me just tell the story from my level.
Yeah. Don't stop using me for your
I apologize. I was not. It was just me. Sorry. So 3K at a Java like this.
Okay.
Then on Sunday after church, you go for another, or you visit your parents.
Another
3K. So that's 6 plus 2.5. 8.5 per week. 4 weeks in a month. 34K. Take out food.
Rent 25.
Rent was 28.
Oh wow.
So we would look at each other at the end of the month and wonder, where is the money to invest? Where is the money to invest? You see, it was an area that we didn't have control. And all of us, now if you add that, plus relatives, plus mchangos everywhere, plus what else is there? People just don't have control.
You will reduce expenditure in your nini.
Let me tell you. So this is the story. So we happened to be out with our friends. See, after we discovered, now we're out again eating with our friends. And we said, we found out this week we are spending more on this stuff we're eating again than our rent. And one of our friends happened to just mention, why don't you hire a chef? I was like, how extravagant can that be? But it's because we had never done the mathematics.
Okay.
We hired a guy called Japheth, great chef. And what he would do, instead of us going to eat, he comes and cooks in our house. Then you carry lunch from home to the office. If you have food in the fridge, you're less likely on that Saturday, unless there's something serious happening, to go out. So by hiring Japheth to come and cook in our house, we reduced our takeout budget by between 7 and 10K in a month. We were still going out, but you've reduced the amount that you're spending.
But mmelipa now Japheth kama salary?
No, he'd come when you call him.
Last year he was on a salary.
2,000 bob when he comes. I'm telling you, we did the mathematics. With him coming, we were actually saving on that.
So basically,
now we could have done even better and said, you know what? Imagine it's not too hard to. Yes.
So yote 9-10, put a budget aside ya kusaidia watu.
Thank you.
Put a budget aside ya kujibamba.
Thank you.
Tuseme kama ni date nini unasema for this month I'm just gonna spend kama ni 10k total.
Done.
Niende wapi, I'll just spend 10 Gs.
Yes.
Na kama ni kusaidia, I'll just spend 2 Gs.
Yes.
No matter what happens, it has to fall within the 2 Gs.
Thank you.
Hiyo ikiisha mpaka next month.
Yes. Because if you try and solve everybody's problem, you will become the problem. Then suddenly you'll be the one calling.
Oh, wow, that's dope. You try to solve everybody's problem,
Yes.
you become the problem.
Yeah. You'll be the one now calling. This idea.
So the issue of saving money despite having good income is just discipline.
Control. And one of the problems, let me tell you one of the problems. We don't plan for sherehe.
But what wanapanganga sherehe?
Yeah.
You want us to plan?
Yes.
Above the head.
Imagine next year, guess what? WRC is coming again next year.
Yes.
If I start saving today, 5K every month, between now, for 1 year, I will go to Vashas, in fact, for 2 weeks, 2-week holiday.
Enjoy.
I'll be there.
Sisi natupatanga tu.
Yes.
Hey, there's Vashas this weekend. Hey,
Yes.
you guys, what do you do?
And you go.
So you have a kamoti.
Thank you. Why do you think December and January are real things? Because it was not planned. Hey, let me wake people up. Imagine December 2025 is coming. It's a real thing.
Tuanze kupanga sahi.
Start planning today. In fact, book your holidays today. You'll get a serious discount in all those hotels that you want to go because unalipa pole pole.
Oh, wow.
This is what I'm talking about. Those guys who make money are people who are under control. Like I told you, that dealer that I saw there,
Yeah.
is he helping people? Yes. In fact, he's probably helping people more than others. But he's doing it under control. So your budget should have happiness. Listen, if you're a guy of new phone every year, please guess what? New iPhone is coming in September, I promise you. It is coming. So instead of waiting for September, start planning and say, I like a new phone every year. Put it in your budget.
Hasa kujipanga nao sahi.
That's it. So that when it happens, now you're not using debt.
Okay.
The biggest problem people have with debt, and I know you're going to ask questions about debt, is people use debt for consumption. They use debt for life.
Hey, unachukua deni sherehe.
That is where you
Piga
fail.
luku.
People who make money, business owners, they use debt for assets. An asset puts money in your pocket. You see the way you borrowed, no, let me stop saying, I don't know whether you borrowed or not.
Tema.
I don't know. If you borrowed to buy all these cameras and this equipment here,
Yeah.
that's good debt. Why? Because these cameras and equipment that you're seeing here are putting money back in your pocket. They're even paying that debt.
Ah.
But the guy who borrows to go and buy lunch,
Na bora nipeleke mrembo out. Mefuliza nini?
that's the problem.
Spoil baby girl.
Because most of the time people are borrowing to use it today, and that money will never come back. When I see your guys of content creators and they borrow and they go buy an iPhone, I say, well done. Why? Because unlike me, microphone for flossing here to show everybody, hey, I've done, it's not helping me. But that guy who's using that phone to create content that's putting money in their pocket, what do you mean? That I was laughing at the last segment, the guys who were here. But I was like, if young people can understand, these two guys, they are creating content.
Yeah.
Even that content that you saw here, that drama.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Me, I was like, these guys understand their brand.
True.
Because they have sold themselves. People are now going to look for them online.
True story.
How much were they saying that they are making from a video? 7K per video.
No, it was even more
Something
than that.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
If you're making 7K or 10K from a video, 10
That was
videos,
then.
10 videos are going to buy your next iPhone. They've already paid off your whole loan.
True.
That's somebody who's thinking.
That's the thinking smart.
But the rest of us,
Too good.
we're trying to show our neighbors who don't care.
You are borrowing to apply pressure. Basically,
Pressure to who?
That one has already answered the question for the debt. So we've covered that one. Let's talk about these savings. What minimum should someone start with?
As much as you can.
How much capital does one need to start a business?
As little as possible.
Those answers are very vague. As much as you can, as little as possible.
Let me tell you why. A guy who's in his 20s, if he starts putting aside 50 bob every day, 50 bob, that 50 bob is worth more than my 5,000 shillings in my 40s today. Why? Because his 50 bob will grow in whichever investment he's putting it in.
Okay.
By the time he's 40 like me, it'll be worth more than my 5K.
Okay.
So start as early as possible. And the difference is not the amount. Obinna, it is the discipline. Even if you, did you see that story? They ran, I think it was K24 a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
They had a guy of Mahindi Choma on the side of the road and he bought a manyanga. Then they asked him, how is this possible? This guy had been saving in his circle for years.
Anaweka tu.
Kuweka. As you said, then the circle allows you to borrow according to your savings.
Yeah.
And that guy was able to buy a manyanga.
You're discipline.
Small amounts add up. And the thing about it is, if you have that discipline, if I can be able to save 50 bob from my 1,000, when I earn 10,000, I'll put aside 500. When I earn 100,000, I'll be putting aside 5K. When I earn 1 million, it doesn't affect me because the habit is already in place. Those people who have control, they're the ones who make money.
Yeah. Let's talk about the mistakes that entrepreneurs make the first 3 years in business.
This is my pet project.
Okay.
Let me.
Ndio hiyo nayo kanyaga shingo.
What?
He's very excited about it.
Let me tell you.
He's ecstatic.
Business, first of all, there are entrepreneurs and they are self-employed. Now, there's a difference between being an entrepreneur
and being a self-employed.
And being self-employed.
Okay. I thought self-employed is an entrepreneur.
No.
Yeah.
Let me explain the difference. Self-employed doesn't mean that you can't make money.
Okay.
You can make a lot of money being self-employed. A lot.
Okay.
But you're still employed. An entrepreneur is somebody who builds a business that makes money. In fact, that's what I was listening. I saw that ad just for a few minutes ago. You'll tell me, do you own Goldchild?
Myself.
Are you involved? No. You're not involved? I was hoping. I was praying. Let me tell you the difference.
Okay.
Let me tell you the difference. One of the groups that have now started showing up in our classes at Centonomy are content creators like yourselves.
Okay.
One of the best ones, the story that changed my life was, you know Jugush and his wife? Very good. They came for the class.
Yes. No wonder. Now I've known the secret. Now I have known the secret. I've been trying to do my mathematics. Mimi nimekuwa nikisema Jugush ameangukia bibi mzuri. Kumbe ni watu wamejipeleka kwa class na wakanyamaza. Guy.
Many others have
they
been
know
to the
how
class.
to put their money together.
Kina Caroline Mutoko, Kina King Kaka, all these guys.
Ata King Kaka is also very sharp with money. King Kaka is brilliant with money. Kuweka pesa
But
hivi.
He was already brilliant before he came to the class.
Yes, King Kaka and money.
But one of the things that I've learned, like people who want to learn, they're always looking for an opportunity to learn. I'm so shocked. Many people come into the class and I'm like, how am I training you?
I thought you have your things figured out.
You're already a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
What are you doing sitting in I know for sure your net worth is more than mine. How can you come? I should be learning from you. But I've learned about these wealthy people. They are very humble. And it's not humility of, they try and hide. It's humility of understanding where I'm not strong.
Yeah.
Let me look for somebody who's strong. And then they build from that perspective.
True.
Anyway, let's tell the story of Jugush. And he told that story there. He came into the class and we told him, right now, your business as a content creator is not a business. You are self-employed.
Okay.
What does that mean? Right now, where is the value? The value is you. If you don't make a video,
Hakuna do.
There's no money.
So true. Me, if I don't come here on Monday, All of you guys are employed.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that's what I love about people who take action immediately. They went and sat with his wife and they said, this is true. If I don't make videos, no money. What can we do? Did you see they bought Mathris?
Sasa shamba ya pili. And they built a beautiful house. Wako na shamba huko nyuma.
So the house is not
chicken,
the issue.
Whatever.
Now they have an asset that is producing money whether he shows up or not.
True.
Now we are getting into entrepreneurship. He has a transport and logistics business. Before that, he was just self-employed. And this goes for professionals also. Let me talk to you about professionals. You'll see somebody who's a lawyer, and he's the best lawyer in the world. Best, makes money out of the years. He's making money. But he's the only lawyer. Then there's somebody who starts a law firm where he has associates, he has partners. Whether he shows up to work or not,
Money is being
made. There's a difference.
Okay.
So we need now to begin to think, how do we build wealth? Okay. So if some people decide, you know what, I don't want to start a business. No problem. So you act as if you are employed because you're actually self-employed. So in your case, if you don't own a business somewhere that is earning you cash, what you must do is be like me. I'm an employee at Centonomy. So you must be like me, and whatever money I am paid, I must invest it in such a way that in future it's going to take care of me. So as an employee, I'm making sure I'm putting aside money that will buy me apartments where I will earn rent. I'm putting aside money that will buy me bonds that I'll earn income from them.
Okay.
So long as I'm employed. But if I'm going to be a business owner, that's why you asked me about mistakes that business owners do. The first mistake is they don't understand whether they're an entrepreneur or they're self-employed.
Okay.
If you're self-employed, make sure you're investing. But if you're an entrepreneur, you want to build a business that will continue to make money.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, you're asking about mistakes. If you're in business and you don't understand money, please, you're not in business. In business, the only difference between business and a hobby is money. You must understand how a business makes money. That's number one. Number two, how you make money from your business, because they are not the same thing. The business money is not your money.
Come on.
It is, even you asking about for tax purposes. Even for tax purposes, the business money is not your money.
Uko na duka imefanya ka profit kidogo. Kunywa kasoda hapo kwa nini? Piga steam.
No. It is not. And if you begin to mix those two things, you're in trouble. So, as a business owner, you must understand, how does a business make money? And then number two, how do you make money from your business? If you don't understand those two things, done. Business makes money by selling products and services for more than it costs to produce or offer those goods and services. So what does that mean? In a business, you have to fully understand the costs of running that business. Can I show you the problems? Okay. And guys, now when I ask the question, you have to shout the answer, please.
Now they know.
Now we're in class. Now we're in class.
Okay.
Good. I go to China. See, everyone is going to China. Everything is made in China. So I go to China and I buy cups like this. Mm-hmm. They sell them to me in China for 100 bob per cup.
100 per cup.
Very good. Mm-hmm. I pay for transport. I pay for taxes at the port, whichever place, wherever I pass through. They land in my shop or in my house, which is many people do business from their house. The cups land in my house. The cost of the cup to me is 200. If I include all the things,
or the purchase, the taxes, the unit transport, 200.
Packet lands in my house or my shop, 200 bob. Okay? Good. How much will you sell this cup in your shops, guys? 200, you sell it for 400. Sawa, good. 400.
See, we are double hiyo kitu.
Yeah.
Wewe wacha njabu.
No, no.
See, kama ni 250.
He's a businessman here. He's a businessman. We are not joking.
400.
400. Sawa.
Hey.
Good. Why? So first of all, you have to sell for more than it cost. So the difference between 400 and 200 is 200. What do you call that 200? Wrong.
You see profit?
It is not profit. Somebody said it. Yes. So what is that called, that 200? It is called, this is the thing we have to understand. It is called gross profit. It's not profit. Why? Because of what you said. Now, who thought about buying cups from China? Me. See, I'm the business owner. Am I this guy? Our guy 400. Thank you, sir. What's your name, sir? Munez. Thank you. Munez is business of cups. Munez thought about, he planned, he negotiated with the company there. He worked out. Is that not work?
That's work.
That is work. Munez, are you free? Are you a slave? You work for money. In fact, this is how to think about it. Let me explain to you.
Okay.
In a big company, the companies that you know, who generally is paid the most in those companies? Who is paid the highest? CEO. Does the CEO come and sell you anything? Is he in the factory? Is he doing those things? So why is he being paid the most? Because he is thinking, he is strategizing, he's allocating resources. That is work. And work costs. And one of the problems we have as Africans is that we don't value ourselves. This is something that bothers me so much. When I'm teaching Africans, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, let me explain. Can I tell you where that came from? And I'm one of you. Please understand it started with me. I'm an African just like the rest of you. I happened to have an opportunity to train in South Africa. And in South Africa, the people I was training, there were white South Africans, there were Indian South Africans, and there were black South Africans. When I started talking about this thing of value yourself, in your business you should pay yourself, the white guys were looking at, now this guy has come to teach us something. Isn't that obvious? Isn't that obvious that if you're in business, you should pay yourself? The guys I was training on this other side, there was a difference in the response. And I've seen that same difference even here.
I'm shocked. I'm shook.
That you should pay yourself, you're shocked. Do you see my problem?
Yep, I see it clearly. It's very eye-opening, actually, this conversation.
It is work that you are doing. And that work must be valued. Because first of all, my African brothers and sisters, you are valuable. Please understand. Even just as a person, you are valuable. So please value yourself.
Okay.
That's so, as you were saying before, the guy who thought about it, put together the plan, made everything work together, that's work. Then, where was this work happening? Was it happening in space? No. There was a place, even if you're working from your house, it is not a free space. So you must cost for the space that you're working in. Then you have to do accounting, you have to do banking, you have to do tax, you have to do all the licenses you have to pay with this whole place. So that 200 that you're saying was profit is not profit. It is gross profit. Therefore, you have to apply all those other costs
on that
gross profit. So you might find out that he's correct to sell the cup at 400. Why? Because out of that 200, he's probably only making 20 bob in net profit.
Now makes sense.
So he cannot sell one cup every month if he's going to be in business. In order for there to be a net profit, after he has paid himself because he's valuable, he has to sell maybe 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 cups
Yeah.
for it to be a business. But for many of us, and that's the thing, and I'm not saying it's a bad place to start. To start at that point where you import and sell and then you survive is sour. But over time, that business has to graduate and become real. So if people don't understand money in business,
Inakuramba.
yes,
That's number 2. Understand the money.
have to understand the money. And then, business, you cannot grow it by yourself. So begin to look for partners or look for employees who can see the vision and who are going to work with you. You can't do it by yourself. So look for people in your... This is why the ecosystem in the West is very strong. So when you think about how a business can suddenly just explode in a few years, it's not because of one brilliant person, but it's one brilliant person who brought on board other brilliant people who made their business better. Yeah.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. Can you produce this show by yourself? Yes. Will it be as good as it is right now? No. You can produce a show. Hey, see, all you need is a camera in front of you. You can do it.
But it won't be the same as...
It won't be.
Yeah.
Come on. I know your gaffer is over here. I know, what is the other guy's? Grips.
No gaffers.
I know gaffer's grips. I know your sound guy over here. If he's not paying attention,
Yes.
you're not going to have a good show. So this show is not just you. You are the visionary, but you can't produce it by yourself.
How do you know when to quit failing business versus when to push through the struggles? Kuna mtu business imetetemeka kidogo.
Yes.
You've cashed out. Like, hiyo biashara nimejaribu kidogo miezi 2 sijaona nini kidogo.
This one is a hard one.
Ama kuna ingine umehepa na mtu anakuambia mbona umehepa? Uhepa unakaa hapo miezi 5, wewe jaribu hiyo biashara miaka 5.
So, how long can you run a loss-making business?
Yes.
As long as you have capital.
That's an interesting answer.
Yes.
As long as you can fund it.
So long as you can fund a loss-making business, go for it. So this one is hard. This one is hard. This one also has, it's not just mathematics. This one is also your spirit.
Yeah.
I listened to two serious businessmen. They gave their story. They came and spoke at some of our events. Both of them are called Peter, which is very funny.
P square.
One is called Peter Ndwati, and the other one is called Peter Njonjo. Peter Ndwati used to run a company called Resolution Health. He runs many other companies now. Okay. And the other guy is called Peter Njonjo. And both of them tell the story of getting the business going.
Okay.
So both of them, when Peter Ndwati, you can look at his video on our YouTube channel, Centonomy. He's given his story there. When he was starting Resolution Health, he raised funds from investors. He even put his own money there. Now, he thought he had raised enough money until after a few months, suddenly not enough customers, the business cannot generate enough cash to keep going. Now, at that point, you can say, you know what? Things have failed. We tried, and you can close. But he knew if I keep going, we'll make it work. So I think the story is he mortgaged his house. That means he borrowed against his house again, his home, which he owned, because he believed this business will work.
Eventually, yeah.
But you see, this is somebody who had experience of running a business at that level. So he was not just doing it out of feeling. He was doing it because he could see it just needed a little bit more. Same thing, Peter Njonjo, when he was starting Twiga Foods. You know Twiga Foods? Same thing, told his story. He was already successful. He had run, I think it was Coca-Cola in different countries in Africa. So he had even built 2 houses, his 2 homes. So Twiga Foods is running, it's doing, then suddenly things are not as good as he thought. It needs more what? Capital. So his story again, he went and sat with his wife, and he said, hey, here, I believe this business is going to work. Can we sell one of our houses? And they did. They sold. And that gave them enough capital for the business to keep running. So you can run a loss-making business for as long as you have capital.
Okay.
In fact, some of the most famous loss-making businesses are some that you use, like Uber. For many years, Uber was a loss-making business. But so long as they could show investors that eventually we will become profitable, people were willing to keep putting money there. So even if it's making losses, it can run.
Yeah.
So, but for you, please understand, how much money are you willing to put into a loss-making business? That's really the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Biggest financial lesson that you wish every young person would learn early in life?
3, not 1.
Okay.
There are 3.
Okay.
And they're the 3 principles. If you watch me anywhere talking about money, I always talk about them. Number 1, practice the habit of paying yourself first. It's a habit. Any money you make, you must pay yourself first.
Okay.
How do you pay yourself? By saving and investing first.
Okay.
Because if you save and invest after you pay everybody else, there's usually no money left.
Okay.
So any money that comes in, before you pay your landlord, before you pay school fees, before you pay all these other things, save some, invest some. And we've already talked about saving and investing.
Okay.
It is a habit.
Okay.
And what that will teach you is what your life should be.
Okay.
That's number. Okay. Obviously, if you're a person of faith like me, you'll pay your tax, you'll pay your tithe and offering to the church. Then the next person you pay is yourself.
Okay.
By doing what? Saving and investing. That's number 1. Number 2, keep track of your money. Keep track. All of us here said we don't know how much we send our relatives every month. That means it will be difficult to grow.
Okay.
So here's my advice. Every year, for 1 month, write down every cent you spend. Every cent. The other one that people don't keep track of, like M-Pesa transaction charges. You just know how much you sent, but you didn't know how much you paid Safaricom for the benefit of sending that money. Now, I am a shareholder of Safaricom. I benefit from you spending money like that. So if you don't want to listen to the advice, I will make money from it. But just be aware where your money goes. Bank charges, random spending. Just write it down. Because it will change. The way it changed for us, remember what I told you about takeout food? Until we saw the amount, we couldn't make any decisions. When we saw it is when we could make decisions. That's number 2. Number 3, focus on assets. Assets put money in your pocket. Wealthy people buy assets. Middle class and poor people,
Sema kanyaga
here's
shingo.
the word our founder coined.
Yeah.
Our founder Washeke Ndwati came up with this word, flossets. As middle class people, we spend a lot of money buying things that make us look wealthy. You have a big sofa, you have the phone, you have the car.
Fold 6.
Hey, does your phone, your car, or your sofa put any money in your pocket?
No.
Nothing.
Imetoa tu.
Yes. Wealthy people buy assets. They put money into things that put money in their pocket. For an influencer, for a content creator, their iPhone, whatever it is an asset. Why? Because it produces. For a guy who's in the Uber business, their car is an asset because it produces.
Okay.
But my car that's sitting outside over here is losing me money right now as I talk to you. Because since I walked into this place, it is less valuable than it was when I came here. I'm losing money.
Okay.
Now, is it a bad thing? No. But wealthy people focus on assets so that they buy an asset that will pay them to buy a faucet. Yes.
Point number 1, pay yourself first.
That's it, yes.
Point number 2, keep track of your money.
Thank you.
Invest in assets.
Focus on assets.
Focus on assets, then the asset can help you buy the faucet.
Can I give you an example?
Yeah.
So you know Eugene Bogwa? the producers.
Yes,
you know
yes,
him.
yeah.
When he was in university, when everyone else was using their laptop for searching the internet for their own enjoyment, what was Eugene using his laptop for? Burning DVDs to sell. Not because he wanted to be in the DVD sales business. He was using that money to save up to buy his first camera so that he could start producing the things that he wanted to do. So even to that uni student who has a laptop, what is that laptop producing other than for watching Netflix and YouTube? Can it start working for you? Yes. Why not? And for all the young people who are listening to me right now, and I've heard this so many times, where young people come and say, but there are no jobs. Really? Obinna, there are no jobs. If I go to all the job websites right now here in Kenya, I'll see that there's empty, no openings. No.
There are openings.
There are openings. It's just that you have not yet gotten the qualification maybe for some of those jobs. So to young people, I'm going to say, what can you do right now? What options do you have? Because I think by the grace of God, and truly I thank God for my life and I thank God for my parents. My parents managed to send me out of this country to study.
Yeah.
And I studied in Australia. And one of the things that shocked me, people there start working at age 14, age 15. You have a job. So that those guys, it's not your parents buying you an iPhone. You go to the coffee shop, to the place that you're working, you do your papers or whatever, and that money is the one that buys you an iPhone. So that the guy, by the time he is graduating university, he has 10 years experience in a workspace. So here's what I'm talking to guys here. Now you have to be clever. You have to be clever. You will not always get a job that will pay you. But if you can get a job where you come and tell the guy there, the boss, you don't have to pay me. I will come and work for you maybe 2 hours, 4 hours a week. But when I finish work here, please write for me a recommendation letter that tells my next employer what kind of person I am. Let me tell you this. The university student will bring for me their CV, which has 0 experience, even if they got all A's. And the university student will bring for me their CV, which has 2 years, 4 years experience. Please understand who I'm going to listen to. We have no excuse. We have no excuse. Can I tell one more story?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I talk too much sometimes.
Iko sawa.
A good friend of mine who I met many years ago, a guy called Johnson Mwakazi. You know Johnson, the voice. I know that sometimes God blesses you. Me, I don't have that voice.
Clearly.
No, clearly.
So that's why you have to go and think about the money market fund.
You're
like, now mimi sina sauti lakini hapa kwa kuhesabu pesa niko ndani.
Johnson did not land where he was just because of the gift God gave him. Go and listen to his story. Johnson was brought up in Kibera. That's where he grew up. If you talk about people with opportunities, he didn't have the opportunities. What did he have? He had a gift. Now, Johnson tells the story of he used to put on the radio, not just kujibamba. He put on the radio and listen. How do radio presenters speak? And he would copy them. And he would sit there and he's listening and he's copying. He's trying to learn, how do I articulate my words? How do I speak in a way that people are going to listen to me? And he entered into all the competitions. He would go for, verse, what are they called? Music festivals. But he'd go and do poetry and other things like that. He'd get into plays. What was he doing? He was using the gift, but he was making it a skill. And I still remember, because we were doing a project with him. Jimmy Gathu calls me and says, that guy, what's his name and what's his phone number? And it's because Johnson had been practicing for so many years. Jimmy Gathu was that time he was at Citizen. Called me and he said, who is that guy you're working with? I told him, Johnson Mwakazi. Next thing is you see him on the TV screen doing what he has been practicing for years. So it didn't happen overnight. It was Johnson being diligent with the gift And the gift opened doors for him.
Yeah.
So we have no excuse.
Whatsoever.
Everybody has a gift. And it's how you use it.
There you go. How do we join Centonomy classes? How
Come
much is
on.
it? Can we afford it?
You
Kuna
can
malipo ya pole pole.
You can afford.
Because now personally, I'm coming through with my bro. I want us to come and get that
Lord.
one. And also these guys will figure out a way.
Thank
People
God.
should get financial literacy classes.
Please.
So that we don't spiral back to the dark holes we are coming from.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Centonomy, you can look us up, centonomy.com is our website, centonomy.com, CENTONOMY, centonomy.com. And I'm sure you can put a link somewhere for guys to find us.
Okay.
We're on all social media, so you can't miss us
Okay.
in that space. We run a class called Centonomy 101. This is the one I recommend for everybody.
Okay.
Centonomy 101 is a 12-week program that helps you put together a financial plan for your life. So we teach you money management, we teach you debt, how debt works, how to use debt positively, how to get out of debt, bad debt. We learn about investments, and then we learn how to protect your money using things like insurance, using things like estate planning, talking to lawyers to put together a will, to put together a trust, to put together a business. And then we put all of that together into a 5-year financial plan. Centonomy 101 runs 3 times a year, in February, in June, and in September. So you can come anytime, and it's for 12 weeks. You come for 1 class every week. And it's either in the evenings during the week. So like now we're running Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 to 8:30, or Saturday morning. So you pick the one that you like. If you know on Saturday I'm going to be busy, you can come in on Tuesday. If you know Tuesday I'll be busy, you can come in on Saturday. So you pick 1 class per week.
Okay.
49,500, and it's payable in installments.
Or the whole 12 weeks is for 9,000.
That's it. For 12 weeks, 49,500. So
saizi tumepita February, sasa tuwezi join. Tungoje June.
June is when you can be able to come.
Too late.
It's not June is just here. And in fact, if you start the lipa pole pole, because we have those lipa pole pole plans, by June you have paid and you're good. Then we have a class for entrepreneurs. It's called the Centonomy Entrepreneur.
Okay.
It's a 14-week program for business owners. Now, if you noticed, I talked about those who are self-employed and I talked about entrepreneurs. If you want to run a business that will be there hundreds of years later, that's the class to be in. Where you're talking about building generational wealth, where the business doesn't die with you. You learn the skills of business in the Centonomy Entrepreneur Program. So it's 14 weeks. It's 62,000 shillings for that. Again, the same, because we know people are busy. 1 class per week for 14 weeks. Same program, we do it in February, in June, and in September. So the next one coming up.
Can someone do 2 classes?
You can do.
So you unapiga Tuesday, you unapiga?
In fact, that's what guys were doing. Many people come and they say, I want personal finance and I also want
the business side, yeah.
And they do it because of the flexibility, you can do them at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming through.
Thank you so much.
It was amazing. I've figured out. I always tell people on this show, there's so much you don't know.
Yeah.
Until you know it. Then you're like, wait a minute. I used to think, the same way. Even with money, there's so much we don't know.
Yeah.
You see, I've learned I need to be more stingy.
Not stingy.
Organized.
I want you to be generous and under control.
Yes.
Hey, can I give you an example? Very quick example.
Okay.
Have you noticed wealthy people, after a while, they put together what they call a foundation. So the foundation channels their money to help people. It's an organized way to help people. It also reduces your tax.
Okay. I hear you.
You didn't hear that from me.
I didn't hear it from you.
If you give money charitably, it reduces your tax obligation.
I've been giving money, but why is the tax not? We'll work on it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So up next is Evelyn Wanjiru. Grace K. Amefika. Evelyn Wanjiru is here. So up next is Evelyn Wanjiru. After that one, we're going to be having who else? Chris Baby. And then we're going to finish with Rachel Otuoma.
Can I say one thing
Yes.
to young people?
Yeah.
What time did you guys land here?
Today. Mulifika sangapi ni? At 8, skia the video. 9
Some guys got here at 8, 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
What time is it right now?
9 a.m. Now it's 6:55.
We are almost 7 p.m.
Yes.
How many more hours are you going to be recording?
Probably until 4 a.m. We are yet to even have lunch. Now is when we want to have lunch.
Let me talk to the young people here.
Yeah.
When you see somebody like Obinna being successful, this is hard work. It's not a joke. It's not something that just happens like this. These guys have been here. I can even see the hunger in their face. Guys, give them some lunch. Give some lunch. But guess what?
Yeah.
This success didn't happen overnight. It takes work. And the guys who do the work, you see the results. Me, I'm here just to give you.
Thank you.
I'm giving you your flowers. There's no joke. That you won this award is not a joke.
Yeah.
Keep going, guys.
Asante.
Well done. Well done to the whole team. Well done, guys. Yeah.
Thank you for coming through, man. Umetufungua akili. Hey. Guys are just like, it's hot. It's hot. It's hot. Okay, guys, we're going to meet in class, man. June is my birthday month.
Oh.
And June, I'm doing my first ever special stand-up comedy. I've never done one man.
Wow.
Mina fanyanga unapanda 15 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
I've done kind of a one man in Uganda, but tulikuwa wengi. So I was to be on stage for like 15 minutes. I was on stage for like 1 hour because the audience was very receptive. Wow. But now it's just going to be me for about 2 hours. We're going to laugh, we're going to dance, we're going to sing, we're going to have a good time. June 7th, just after my birthday. And the beginning of June, I'm in class.
Wow.
Then also June, we're doing Men's Mental Health Awareness Walk, the 2nd edition. So June is going to be the beginning of a lot of things.
Wow.
Even the financial literacy classes from Centonomy. So June is that. Wow. We're starting our year. You know, most companies, by the start the year in June.
Yeah.
Media.
Financial year.
Yeah, financial year. So June, we're going to do a lot of things. So thank you very much for coming through.
Thank you.
I think it was God just talking to me. God is just like, find these guys for Centonomy. I didn't even know you are the one who's going to come. Me was telling Wambo, anybody from Centonomy. I just want to come talk finances. And ta-da! Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching this one. I'm seeing you guys in a short while with Evelyn Wanjiru. Let us break for lunch or supper to Kukatikati. But we are back in the video, how long? In about 30 minutes or less. All right, but for now, I want you guys to join Mozart Bet. Download them on App Store, download them on Play Store, and you get to try the best gaming odds. And also, on the Mozart Bet Casino, you can get a lot of many games. For example, the casino jackpot, 3 million shillings, is up for grabs just for you.
Angukia welcome bonus. Only on Mozart. Karibishwa kama mgeni. Register now on mozartbet.co.ke to angukia free bets and a free spins bonanza. Kuwa mshindi.